All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner talking Giants with your Giants Week 17 film review, and it's a victory film review. So wherever you land on the debate of wins versus losses, I think most people probably preferred the loss. The film is more enjoyable when they win. I will say that it's fun to break down good film and not the worst film you've ever seen. It is. I don't put a lot of stuff on social media about film right now at this time of the year, but some cool stuff, and there's the Darius Slayton touchdown might be my favorite build off thing that Brian Dable's done. So let's get into it. Hell, this may be the last time we break down Brian Dable's film because I don't think I'm going to do one after Week 18. Maybe I will if they keep Brian Dable, but if not, probably won't. So let's get into it. And Shane Bowen. So let's get into it. First play. This is the Dane Belton interception. So Belton actually messed up pretty badly on this play, but a bad Flacco throw and a really good Belton recovery allows him to get an interception. So, right, we're in a too-high shell here. And you got Banks, and something the Giants have been doing since Dexter Lawrence went out of the lineup is running these cornerback blitzes to try and stop the run a little more. Like just give offensive line something harder to deal with. So you see Banks blitzes, right? So what type of coverage are they going to be in? So let's look up here. We've got him playing this area, this safety here. This entire right side of the field right now is not covered. I mean, it's not covered. So, and you're going to see, because I wanted to make sure I got exactly right, because sometimes guys just make mistakes and you don't know who was the one who made the mistake. But you're going to see in the next defensive play that this is supposed to be a cover 3 run blitz. So Belton is responsible for this deep part of the field. So you're lucky with this pressure by Armon Watts and the fact that this route, these 3 verticals, this route went out here. Because if this is just a seam for this tight end, then, this is an easy touchdown for the Colts. And if Flacco just throws a better ball on this too. Maybe Belton makes a play on that, but really good ball tracking skills by Belton. But Belton gets caught up in the run on this, right? We're stuck. We got a tight end running right past us, but good, just flip your hips, track the ball, right? That's a lost art on the Giants' defensive backfield, and make a nice play on the ball. You see Blitz Banks, right? So in this run blitz, watch, everyone's jumping down a gap, right? Boogie jumps down a gap. Armon and Nacho jump down a gap. So when they're jumping down a gap, and I'm spending a lot of time explaining this play, but screw it. We're only going through 16 plays, so let's spend some time on this stuff. So how it gets the Colts is the player who's going to pull on this is the player who's uncovered backside, right? So Quentin Nelson has Nacho. The center doesn't have anyone in this gap. So he's going to pull, and the right guard, Mark Lewinsky, is going to pin down. But you can't, maybe some guards can make this play, but Lewinsky's pretty damn athletic, despite his issues in pass protection. So now you vacated that. Look at this. So Armon Watts just runs right through that. Force the ball out of Flacco's hand. And like I said, just good ball tracking skills from Belton, right? Not every interception means you made the perfect play. Sometimes it's just they made a wrong play and you got the good ball skills, right? And I think that's sincerely lacking with the Giants. So this is going to be, I think, the only negative offensive play that I'm going to go through. This is second play of the game, and there is some negative play, especially with Evan Neal. Second play of the game, RPO. This is 2nd and 11. This is our read player right here, 57. Look at this slant behind this. This linebacker is in. Now, I think the snap from Greg Van Roten was a little low, and that might have kind of spooked Locke to just give Tracy the handoff and not get his eyes on this linebacker. So again, it's not just Locke here. So this snap being, like I said, this snap is kind of low at his knees. So he's got to take his eyes off of this linebacker. But this linebacker's here. And you got a slant man. And that's some yak right there too. Slayton does a really good job on this. Right? pulls out his leverage, sells vertical, bam. And you can see Slayton's frustration. Back on defense. Oh, sorry, you can see it from this angle. Right? But Locke's got his eyes there. Throw that ball. So, this play is nothing special, but look. Too high, split safeties, right? Corner down here, tight formation. Another play where they're motioning. Cordell flop blitzes. Now let's watch Dane Belton this time. Right? Dane Belton. Now, guess what we're all doing? 1, 2, 3. We're playing the deep third. They have Moasa roll over back on seams in this cover 3. Look. Flacco doesn't throw the flat like he should. So, again, this play, Flacco makes him play with his leg and shot puts a football to Alec Pierce. But just showing you how that play is ran the quote-unquote right way, even though this result is way worse than the interception that Dane Belton got. On offense, here's the Tyrone Tracy 40-yard run. I mean, just taking advantage of the Colts being a bad unit. And they did a good job run defense-wise on this. But just look at this defensive formation. Right? So we motion Juan Dale, man coverage. We get this player moving to the backside. I mean, tell me what you want to run right here. It's so easy. Right? You have this linebackers all the way back here. All the way back here. So what are we going to do? We're going to combo to 44. We're going to have Van Roten take this backside guard. Excuse me. You're going to have Jake Kubis down block here. Evan Neal pin out. Kubis and Van Roten working backside to this linebacker. And then you just have Bellinger work his power. And you could have ran this in a different way too, where you have these two combo to this linebacker. And then have, Illuminor cut this or read him. But regardless, I mean, this is easy. No one even here has to do a great job. Tracy presses this, cuts off of Bellinger. Bellinger does a solid job on this. Good job by Grover Stewart here. Being like, hey, get off of this and pushing 45 off of him. And then Nick Cross takes the worst angle possible because that's what he's done his entire football playing career, and we're off to the races. Next play, the neighbors 31-yard screen. I mean, not much to break down. You motion them. Man, they're in a blitz look. They blitz, right? They send 6. Bellinger does a solid job on cross. Neal whiffs. And we're just eliminating angles. I mean, look at this. Wham! None of these D linemen. Don't want it. Don't want it. Dive at him. Make a play. Don't want it. 32. What are we doing? And Malik Neighbors just making a play. I mean, 51. What are we doing here? Eliminate it. Bam, bam. Touchdown, New York Giants. Next play. This is the play that I've been talking about that I really like. So, you guys, we've talked about that shock concept a lot, right? Usually out of empty, not always. Usually out of empty, but you got 3 to 1. It's either 3 by 1 with the back in the backfield or 3 by 2. This is 3 by 2, obviously. Now, usually you don't run it out of this bunch. It's usually you have the back out, somebody out here, usually the back, either the tight end or a wide receiver. You want to get a matchup here, and then Juan Dale Robinson or Malik Neighbors here, and the receiver here is going to run a choice route. So you come up here, you can sit if you're bracketed. If you've got someone playing outside leverage, you break it in. Someone playing inside leverage, you break it out. You have a running back out here, just usually run a hitch, which you're never going to throw. You're just occupying that player. And then you have the slot player running a fade. You get that versus man coverage with a single high safety. You want to make that throw. You get it versus man coverage versus 2 high safety. You want to get to the backside of the concept or the choice route. But we're going to run it out of bunch, but we're going to run it in a different way, right? And they've been adding this is that we're going to have instead of running a fade, we're gonna run a seam, a vertical, right? Have the number 1 run that. Now Neighbors is the number 2, but he's tighter to the formation. But it's gonna be the same. We're gonna have everyone in the same spot, right? Juan Dale is further out, but he's running a choice. You have someone just occupying space out here, and you get Malik Neighbors running the seam here. And it's a way to throw this versus cover 2. And I don't know exactly how they're teaching this on what Locke is reading. If it's like, reading this safety's leverage, obviously this linebacker is turning and running with this. But in reality, the reason why you run the number 1 vertical, and I'd like to see with a more aggressive quarterback who trusts Malik Neighbors, is to fire this ball in right here. But you got to have arm strength. You got to have a lot of trust to fire this in there, right? Brian Dable talked about running that with Brett Favre on Hard Knocks. But a way to, the reason why you have that up the seam instead of the slot fade is that versus split safeties, you're never going to throw the slot fade there, whether it's man or zone coverage. So this makes it to where if it's zone coverage, we can throw that. Now, if you really wanted to get to this, something the Giants have done, I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, something the Giants have done is that they will have the number 1 run the vertical, and they'll still run the slot fade, right? So you're pulling this safety out, and then you get a one-on-one with Neighbors. But anyways, Locke doesn't throw this. He doesn't feel comfortable. He doesn't throw this. So something they run on the backside of this is a wrap concept. Follow, right? So you have a whip route here, right? And you're supposed to force this out. I don't know why Devin Singletary doesn't. A whip right here, and the dig behind it, right? And when you get it versus cover 2, which is exactly what you get, if this safety is playing with a lot of depth, guess what we're going to do? We're going to throw it right here to Darius Slayton, right? If we get it versus cover 3, this corner is going to chase Slayton vertically, and then you throw this ball out here. But you get the safety playing with a lot of depth. Drew Lock gets to the backside of it, fired in there, bam. I mean, I know the Colts suck, so it's like you get to run all this cool shit and trust it, but I don't know how long I spent on that play, but I really enjoyed breaking down that play because it's something the Giants run, and they've run different variations out of it, and it's something if Brian Dable's fired that I just hope the next coach, when he's breaking down Giants film, is like, you know what? I want to bring the elements of this here. And it's really popular in college. The Patriots ran it a ton. It's something that I would like to see a lot of. Good job by Slayton, playing through contact, get himself a touchdown. And a good job by Locke, like I said. Maybe want to get aggressive on this. They haven't really got the timing of this down, even when Locke has thrown this ball. But we get to our backside. We're reading 45. Wham. Put it in there. Touchdown, Darius Slayton. Next play. Play action, double go. Malik Neighbors burns this corner. Ball's thrown behind him. Adjust to the football. Let's look at the release here. Right, we've got off coverage. So it's nothing special, and this corner stinks. I don't know who he is. But, again, play action. You hold this safety, right? You see Locke's eyes go to the left side to open the safety's hips up, and then we're immediately throwing the ball to Neighbors. Now, if I'm quarterbacking coaching Locke, I'm saying, hey, man, you don't have to rush this, okay? You don't have to rush this. The safety is not a part of this. Turn your feet. Now you have this pressure here from Cross, but you see the release by Neighbors. This corner is playing inside leverage, so just attack that leverage, right? We start with an inside track and then plant that foot and go, and just outrun him. This should have been a touchdown. I mean, this is as open as you get running these verticals in the NFL, but just a really good job tracking the football, getting back to it, allowing that corner to get past you, pull it in. Big play. Should have been a touchdown, but big play. And then here's the touchdown to Juan Dale Robinson. I don't love this play call, or at least I don't love the way that Drew Lock looks at it, because look at Drew Lock is we're looking to the left front side, right? We're reading this linebacker, and this linebacker steps right. So I just don't know what we're really trying to accomplish here, because it looks kind of like that wrap, right? We just talked about with the Slayton touchdown, with Bellinger sitting here and then the dig behind it. But you don't have the space to run that, right? So when you have this safety down here, you just don't have the space to run it. Now, maybe what you want to do is you have Bellinger turn this and, is running a stick, and he breaks this in. But even if he breaks this in, well, now we got the running back here. It's just, and again, like what are the options here, right? So you break this in, throw it, but that's not what he did, and then you get this safety to run with it, and that's still like tight window. Maybe you get it, but it's still a tight window. I would have just liked to look back here, because we got the rub for Darius Slayton. Now, I will say with Juan Dale Robinson here, right? You got to get this timing down. Slayton does a good job. Slow play this release. Look at that foot fire. Bat, bat. Maybe pull that left foot and really try and get his hips open. Doesn't do a great job, but flatten this out, Juan Dale. Right? Flatten this out, because it allows this corner to get underneath it and get back into Slayton's hip. Now, I know why Locke doesn't look there. It's because he has these two defenders here, so he's reading off of them. And then when this one backs out, all right, we're getting to over here. But Locke does a good job, right? Kwity Paye beats Evan Neal. Keep your feet about you. Juan Dale Robinson sees it. Look at that. Look at that quickness. Wham! Easy touchdown, New York Giants. Grab your favorite team's jersey and some snacks and head to the couch for another Sunday of action-packed football, and get even closer to the action each Sunday with our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. What? Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you use code WORLD. Stay in on the action and use your $150 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. Stop worrying. You can still join in all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Turn the lights out on that. Put them back on. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code WORLD. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's promo code WORLD only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You'll be glad you did. This was the Jonathan Taylor split zone touchdown. We'll let it play. Man, corners. Flott's the main reason why this is a touchdown. We'll go through it. But, right, split zone, right? So we got everyone taking their zone steps. Tight end working to the backside. And Nacho does a good job, right? Striking, extending with Glowinski, making this a tight window to go through. Wasa's got to get downhill. We got to get downhill on this, and I understand what he's trying to read. Or maybe I'm wrong on this part, but I guess what they're trying to read on this is that with the split zone, that the backside is going to take the outside and lever this, and then we'll also be out here, and then everyone has to bump their gap down. But if that's the case, then Ty Summers has got to fill in here quickly. Right? And then Flott. Corners, man. No. Basham doesn't do a good job out here. But watch Flott. I mean, Phil, need to be here. Instead, we're just squeezing down the receiver and Pittman and giving up a touchdown. Next play. This is the other Malik Neighbors touchdown. Just gun, boot, smash. Right? High-low. Right? So they run a high-low concept. They're in cover 3. So you throw the hitch. Right? And you boot on it to get that ball out there. And then Neighbors just wham. And just a really bad job by the Colts. I can't say it. When watching this, I was like, oh man, if I was a Colts fan, I don't know how they do it. But then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a Giants fan. It's better than what we have. But again, Locke is reading on this is if this corner plays off soft on this, just get this ball out here to Neighbors. Right? If this corner's squatting on Malik Neighbors, then he's going to throw it out here to Juan Dale Robinson. He doesn't. And then Neighbors does the rest. Good. Juan Dale throw a block. So good throw by Locke. You don't get to see that angle. Next play on defense. So I was very critical of Deontay Banks in this game. Still am. Bad game. This is not on him. See this deep pass, and you see Deontay Banks running after him? Like, oh my gosh, he got smoked. What happens here? So we got 2 safeties. They are playing at low depth. 9 yards. 9 yards, right? So they want to stop the run here. Right? They want to stop the run. The Colts run play action. They are in cover 4. Right? We're supposed to have 4 deep. I don't know where. Belton, I understand playing this run. But once you see this receiver not work out to a block and release inside, we got to be carrying him vertically. Now, you're already in a bad spot at this amount of depth. Right? If we were playing at 15 yards, maybe you'd peak a little longer. But at 9 yards of depth, at this point, it's over. And Banks is playing with extreme outside leverage on this, right? He's expecting to have inside help here. Expecting to have inside help here. This is play action Yankee with the deep post, the over route. And this is the easy read for Flacco. Both safeties aren't there, right? Pinnock is doing his job of cutting this part off, right? So they don't get the easy crosser. But Belton is nowhere to be found. And look, just throw it to the middle of the field, right? And that's what Joe Flacco does. Now, I'd like Banks to track the ball better and fight for it instead of just running, which is what he's doing. But this is on Belton, man. Like, you got to know, man. You're at 9 yards of depth. You got to be able to ready to turn and bail. At this point, you should be flipping your hips inside and running. And you still might not get to this play because Pierce is a fucking burner. But you at least got to make Flacco have a better throw on this. Instead, it's just easy money. So Banks will get the credit for giving that up due to tracking data or whatever. But to me, that's on Belton. That is a Belton mess up right there. Next play, Flacco touchdown. This is actually some good play calling and quarterbacking here. This is nice. Now the ball's a little behind. So Giants are in a 2-deep look. This is kind of like that red zone quarters, red zone cover 4, where, yeah, he's got the deep fourth, but you also have to occupy the flat if they run a quick speed out or something. So the start of this is that they want to take Pinnock away. They want to take Pinnock and get him from playing out here. So they're going to have the number 2 run up the seam, right? And kind of set up a shallow cross for Alec Pierce in case this is covered well. So Moasau sees that, right? Let's slice this. Let's take this away, right? And Pinnock goes with it too. So now you're going to have Pittman. You have Gregson out in the flat. Pittman's going to work an out and up, right? So Adoree' already lined up with this outside leverage. Let's keep that leverage outside. Let's keep that leverage outside. Up. Wham. Just nice transition. Right? Adoree' cannot play soft on this, or they're just going to throw a quick speed out touchdown or, nice gain. You have this safety occupied. Flack will put it on him. Again, a little behind. But, this is a good Shane Steichen red zone play call. Right? And good job by Flacco seeing it and making the throw. But a Shane Steichen play call I really like. Next play. Speaking of transitions, watch Juan Dale on this. And you haven't really seen Juan Dale do this much this year, or really at all in his career. You remember the Green Bay Packers game last year here. So the Giants are going to run a sail with neighbors coming from the backside of it. It's like a sail/drive concept. Right, so we have the deep vertical right here with Slayton basically clearing out. You have the corner sail, and then, something that's occupying the shallow, even though a true sail you'd have somebody out here getting quicker occupied. But you get it versus man coverage, right? It's not a great play versus man coverage, right? Unless you just flat out win. And that's what Juan Dale Robinson does. Look at him set this up. Pull his leverage inside. Wham! That's smooth. Smooth, quick. Locke gets the ball out. A little out in front of him. Those short arms, we got to dive. But I don't think Juan Dale, you're ever going to have this big advanced route tree because of his limitations. But if he can consistently win versus this on man, then the Giants can, cook with this concept, which they haven't run a ton. But that's there for them. That's going to be there for them if you can win on that consistently. Here, Giants actually ran true mesh. We're hitting towards the end of the season. I don't think they've even ran a true mesh 10 times. Right? But we actually run it. All right, let's look at it. Front side, we got the rail route by the running back. Not getting there. We've got the sit by Juan Dale. And then the mesh, right? Now you get it versus zone. And the Colts stink. So what do, right? You get this mesh. And you get this linebacker, for some reason, chasing this. Chasing this instead of passing it off to these defenders. So you get all three defenders work to Darius Slayton. And then this defender correctly picks up Malik Neighbors. And you just leave Juan Dale Robinson sitting wide up on the field. This coverage should work, right? This is one of those plays mesh. This is not supposed to work here, right? This play is not supposed to work. You should have this linebacker sitting right here, this linebacker or corner, whoever, taking Neighbors, and then you have these two players taking Slayton, and nothing's open. There should be nothing open here, and for some reason, this linebacker runs with Slayton, and they just leave Juan Dale Robinson wide up in the middle of the field. That shouldn't be covered, right? We talk about the variations of mesh. Right? In reality, the Giants on this should give the receivers the option, Slayton and Neighbors, to see this zone coverage and then pivot out. Right? Pivot out, and you get a quick little easy throw. Instead, this linebacker fucking chases this, and you got Juan Dale Robinson wide up in the middle of the field, and guess what? They also can't tackle. Bam. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. So 44 gets the credit for the tackle. Zaire Franklin, hope your podcast is going well. You also get credit for giving up a fucking huge play on third down, buddy. Giants ran leak with Daniel Bellinger. I want to talk through this. So the leak doesn't work, right? We're play actioning. We're trying to get the tight end to be wide open out here. It doesn't work, right? It does not work. Even though Malik Neighbors is never going to get the ball on this, really. He doesn't really give a shit. But Locke, right? Get upfield. Greg Van Roten, get block on the back. Stumble. Right? Trying to get these DBs. Stumble. Touchdown. But I want to talk through something. Is Daniel Bellinger purposely falling down, right, to try and lull these guys to sleep? He doesn't trip on anybody, right? That's not how you block or fake block. He doesn't trip on anybody. I think he's fake falling down to try and get these guys involved. Cross, who sucks, actually did a good job seeing this and picking it up. But Locke gets his 5th touchdown of the day. And the Giants celebrate. And the Giants fans, not so much. And then here, Drew Phillips interception. Bowen has thrown some different coverages, man. Like things that you didn't run earlier in the year. So we have, again, split safeties. Pinnock playing, cheating down at that Mendoza line. Belton playing a little deeper. All right. Guess what we're going to run? Cover 2, right? This is cover 2, right? 1, 2, the middle player being Tampa. Bam, bam, then 2 deep, right? But the safety's here, inverted cover 2, right? So we're going to invert it. So Cordell Flott, he's going to bail at the snap. He now replaces Pinnock, right? He replaces what Pinnock's traditional role is. Belton plays it here. These guys down here, traditional. And so when Flott replaces Pinnock, Drew Phillips replaces Flott. He plays the flat. When Phillips replaces Flott, Darius Moasow replaces Drew Phillips. Plays the curl zone. When Moasow replaces Phillips, Pinnock replaces Moasow. You get a hit from Burns. Ball floats. Right? I guess Flacco is either trying to check down or throw the corner here. Ball goes high. I didn't keep the other angle. I should have kept the other angle because I wanted to show the pressure. But a really good job by Brandon Burns here. Kayvon Thibodeau, some speed to power. Phillips gets his first interception versus high school. Right to him. And the Giants win the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, I don't think I'll be doing a final film review of the season. If we do, it'll be a surprise. Surprise, surprise. But the Eagles are playing their backups. Who wants to watch that? And it's the end of the season. Let's just move on to 2025. Appreciate you guys. I know this video has not done well because the Giants stink. It's one of those videos I love doing, though, and I hope to continue doing it. And I appreciate you guys very much. We will see you on the next one. Until then, let's go Big Blue.